How's it going, guys? It's Richard, and this is my second take of doing the video, because as usual it wouldn't be a video made by me if there wasn't some kind of cock up involved with the creation of the video. So basically there's been a massive change to Dungeoneering today, and the amount of XP you can get and the way that binds work, and I'll quickly just I'll talk over sort of the basics. So Dungeoneering now gets you a lot more XP, so basically at least double for a solo player. So for someone like me that actually prefers doing Dungeoneering on my own, that is a nice comfortable increase. So obviously a group of 5 is still the best way to get XP, but obviously if you can't find a party or whatever, it's now actually still pretty viable to do it as a solo, so you'll be able to get your chaotics a lot quicker. Now another thing that's pretty important is the way that binds now work in Dungeoneering. You can have a maximum of 10 binds bound to your I'd sort of talk about it as though it's a Dungeoneering character, but you can only ever have 5 active in one dungeon at any one time. So essentially the way it works, I'll be able to show you in a minute, is that you have this base pool of 10, and then you can drag any of those 10 items into 3 different equipment slots of 5. So let's say you had like a Prometheum 2H, a Shadow Silk Hood, a Promethean body, and like a bunch of runes and arrows. You could put certain ones into certain groups, so you could like have different equipment setups, whether you're doing solo, whether you're being a mage, whether you're being in a group, that sort of thing. So let's head on into the dungeon, and I will show you what sort of XP rates you can get, but I'll have to quickly bank my items first. Right, so now my items are banked. Let's quickly form a party. I'm going to do a lower level dungeon so I can complete it quicker, so you can sort of see the XP rates you can get. So I don't really have much in the way of floors left, so I will do floor 5. So you can see 6, because that's what would normally give you the best XP. And let's head on in so we can check out the bind system. Keep it small so we can do it. Right, now we're in the dungeon. As you see, there's this new left click option on the smuggler, which is the bind setter button. So you can right click him, and you basically get brought up with this far newer interface. It's sort of matching with the new style interface that RuneScape's been using, which personally I'm really starting to like it. So what you now do, you drag items from your pool of 10. So there's a question mark there, so you have 3 loadout bars and all that. So you have your pool of 10, and then you drag them down into your loadout. So say for like on this one I want to have my Prometheum and my Shadow Silk Hood in one, but in another one I could have a Promethean 2H and then a Promethean body, and then like various items and arrows and anything you like in these different loadouts, and then you click this button to activate it. So if you click that, then it will start using my secondary loadout, so it changes the way it works. So when I start a new dungeon, it will start up that one. So basically you still have to enter a dungeon before you still have to enter a dungeon, then change it, then leave the dungeon, then re-enter to activate the new one, which I know can be a bit of a pain, but it's still a nice new system. So if I click done, and then I'll go through the dungeon now, and then I'll show you the new increased XP rates I get as a solo player. Just for sort of reference, my Dungeoneering level is 91, so normally on these sort of floors I'd probably only gain like, I don't know, 2.5k, 3k XP. So let's complete the dungeon quickly, and we'll see how much XP we can earn. I quickly performed a test just to see, like before I got onto the finishing of the dungeon. I quickly performed a test to see. So I opened one door and I went to the smuggler to change my loadout, and I clicked that, and it did then change to my secondary loadout. So I've lost my Shadow Silk Hood. So it would appear you can change at any point in the dungeon, which to me that feels a little bit overpowered maybe, because that means you can have like one setup of melee, and then you're like, oh, I need to do range for the boss. You can pop back and really quickly change it, which, you know, maybe it slows down your dungeon, but it can actually be kind of convenient. So I don't know whether that's too overpowered or whether that's just good. I guess we'll find out in the future. So anyway, I'll pause the video again, guys, and then we'll get back and see how much XP we can earn. Right, so here we are with the dungeon finished, and obviously it wouldn't have been a Dungeoneering dungeon done by me without me being trolled at least twice by Jagex, one of which was protection prayers just not working and me dying, and the other one was food not being eaten even though I was clicking on it. But you know, it's Jagex, so that's just how it works. Right, so as you can see from the map, I have entirely completed the dungeon, so let's finish and see how much XP we can get. 7.3k then. that's pretty nice. 7.3k from a solo small when I died twice. That's not a bad amount of XP really. Right, so let's move on next to talk about the Gravestone changes. Right, so here we are, guys, in the Chaos Tunnels, as I thought one of the quickest and easiest places to die would be at the Bronze Dragons by dragon breath, as I don't have my dragon breath on. I bought myself like a pretty pathetic equipment, obviously adamant armor. Obviously that's not really in keeping with my stats, but have I glitched the black demons so they're not attacking me? Yes, I have. But yeah, so this is my equipment setup. So these items, and my plan is to die, and hopefully the re-equip all button will work. So I'm just going to quickly read over the news post what it says. Have you ever died in Darkmere, watched as your gear faded before your grasping fingers, and found yourself in a city full of hungry vampires? And yes, my answer to that question is definitely yes. I died many a time to Vanstrom, and twice I lost my Toggle Zo because you thought it would be funny to not give me the interface. So that was 96k of Toggle I had to grind my way back up for both of those Toggle Zos. So yep, thank you very much Jagex for that. So and basically they go on now about how there's a new Gravestone interface and how there's now a re-equip all and take all button, which is going to be really useful, so you can really easily equip your armor and then really quickly put your items back in your inventory. And one really important thing is this new button that on the Gravestone timer, if you're nearby and click on it, it will walk you automatically over to your Gravestone and basically open up the interface for the Gravestone. So let's walk in, let's test out this new interface. Basically let's die, let's commit suicide. So let's walk into the middle. Go on, give me all your dragon breath. Lots and lots of fire. And there we go, that's me dead. Right. So now in theory we should be back in Edgeville. I want to keep my Wolfbane and my Ring of Kinship because I love those things. Right. Let's wield those and I can look really, really pro. That's the wrong button there. Right, now before I go back, I'm obviously going to do the smart thing and bring myself a super anti-fire. Which I have a 2-dose spray in there. Yep. Right. Let's head on back to the Chaos Tunnels and see quite how badly. Now I did a test earlier on my first recording of this video when I realised I wasn't recording my audio, and basically you when you have to be within like it's probably about like a 10 square range, and it will automatically walk you there. It doesn't teleport you there, it automatically walks you there. So let's head down. Where's the rift gone? So it's not as awesome as it is, but there is that new option like go to grave button on the Gravestone timer, which is always convenient. To me, I've never understood why they didn't just not have the gravestones at all in RuneScape. Like, like having that risk of losing your items on the main one. Obviously, the wilderness losing your items is just all what it is. But having that risk of losing your items, it doesn't make you like think, oh, that game's really good because you're potentially losing your items. It makes you think, well, that's a bit rubbish. I'm going to lose my items, and you're gonna rage, aren't you? If you die and lose your items, you don't think, oh, that's a really cool addition. You think, oh my god, this is an absolute joke. I might quit. I've never understood why it was there. But, you know, it's one of the things that have always been in the game. Gravestones pretty much prevent it, obviously with exceptions, with the Toggle Zo being done to 2k. Right, anyway, before I've used the portal already, haven't I? Yep, so I probably should drink that. And then pray melee. And as we click this, it will walk us automatically there. You see? And then it straight away brings up the interface. Now if I click the equip all, then I believe it has equipped everything, and it's put all the items in our inventory. So that is a really, really nice thing. So you're not just there like left clicking loads, oh, left click, left click, left click, trying to pick your items up. So that is a nice, a very welcome change. So definitely some, I mean, there's not really much in the way of new content, but this is definitely a nice change. Like a lot of fixes and improvements that have definitely made the game more fun to play in my personal opinion. So I think I'm going to head off now as I'm being owned by these bronze dragons. So thank you all for watching. I hope this was useful content for you, and I hope to see you all in the next video.